one principle of success is know your outcome. What does success look like for you? And this is in any context. I mentioned the programming earlier. We grow up with an existing program of what success looks like. Sometimes when we get there, we realise that that wasn't my idea of success. That was my parents, or a teacher I had, or somebody who has influenced you as you were growing up. And now this is your opportunity to say, what does success really look and feel like for me? Steven Spielberg was a great example of being very clear on knowing his outcome. By the age of 14, he was adamant that he wanted to be a film director. And he applied to many schools of art and theatre, and he couldn't get in. That didn't dissuade him. He ended up going to Universal Studios on a day ticket, ingratiating himself with the employees there, who just thought that he must know somebody. He just set up in one of the offices, so everybody just assumed somebody else had let him in. And that's how he was able to get discovered, to get his first successful film director opportunity. He was clear on what his outcome was. Okay. Then we come to take action. Just start. Because all too often we get inert with procrastination because we're too scared about failure. Here's a fantastic mantra from the NLP world. There is no failure, there is only feedback. That, for me, that was liberating. Because that failure thing, again, was just a program we'd learned growing up. We don't have to fail. Take the learning. There's always something positive out of it, and move on. But what's important is to start and take action. Because the other thing that happens, if you ever think about that, you've got a rough fragment of something in your mind. I don't know what it is, but I've just got this little inkling of an idea. And when you start talking to somebody else about it, and I'm looking at Jennifer because we did this 2 weeks ago as I was talking to her about writing a book, and she opened up this whole thought process for me. Because what happens is your brain synapses start to join up. So what was just this background fragment of an idea becomes a full thought process that you're able to actually do something with. So just start. The next thing, once you have started, is to check for feedback. Again, from an NLP perspective, we tend to refer to this as having sensory acuity. And to put that into context for you, if you think about anybody who's ever bought a house before, how long did you take over deciding that this is the house that you were going to buy? How many minutes? 10 minutes? 20 minutes maybe, if you didn't have the estate agent going, got to go to another house now. So what is it that you made that decision on? Because generally you only go and see houses that already tick your boxes, right? It's got the number of bedrooms you need, it's got the number of parking spaces or garden, whatever is on your list. So you only go and see houses that tick those boxes. It's the feeling, isn't it? You stand in the house and you're like, I don't know what it is, I just get the feeling this is the house for us. And some of the men in the audience might be thinking, well, that's what the wife says. Guess what? It's not just the women who are led by their emotions. We are all led by our emotions. So have sensory acuity. When you start a project towards your outcome, does it feel like I'm on the right track? If that feedback tells you, maybe not, actually, I don't feel like I'm heading in the right direction, brings us to number 4, is have flexibility. Change your approach. And this might sound like a simple thing, but given that our unconscious mind will always take the easy option and do what it's always done, being flexible and changing approach doesn't necessarily come so naturally to us. And the other night, so any Great British Bake Off fans in the room? So, new series of Great British Bake Off, starting a couple of weeks ago. And 10 minutes to 8, my husband decided now would be a good time to reprogram the TV because it wasn't showing all the detail on the menu. So he started this and he hit the program button and up came the dreaded timer. Tick, tick, tick. 10 minutes later, as the Great British Bake Off is starting, he wasn't getting anywhere. So he hit the button again. Timer starts again. The third time when he did this, I gave him a bit of feedback. And I did a quick Google search, came up with a help option of how to try it differently. He said, yeah, but this is how I did it last time. Yes, but it's not working this time. So he used the Google detail that I'd come up with, and I managed to get to watch and see who actually won that episode of the Great British Bake Off. So I really can't stress this enough. And again, back to the Steven Spielberg example. If one approach doesn't work, have flexibility and try a different approach. And that brings us to the 5th principle of success. Whose responsibility is it for your outcome to be successful? Yours. Absolutely. Everybody has a lot on their plate. You know, they're all focusing on what's going on in their world. So it's really important that when you set your outcome, you take responsibility and change approach as many times as you need to, so long as you achieve that outcome. Because here's a little tip. Not enough time and not enough money, most of the time, are what we refer to as limiting beliefs. If you want something bad enough, there is a way around it. So change your approach. So let me leave you with one last insight into my domestic life. Recently my husband and I moved into a short-let property while we're having some renovations done. And my husband had put a mirror up on the landing. And as I walked past the mirror, I did it. Whoa! Looking in the mirror, I'm like, come and have a look at this. So out comes hubby. I'm like, look in the mirror, what do you notice? Whoa, it's a fat mirror. I said, right, we've got to get rid of that mirror. Get rid of that mirror, bring the white mirror up. We'll put the right mirror up there. It's like, well, what do you want me to do with this mirror? Burn it. Burn the fat mirror. So he takes the fat mirror downstairs and he puts the white mirror up. And so we're both standing in front of the mirror. It's like, whew, yeah, that's better, okay. And he turns to me and he says, but how do you know this mirror is real? How, why isn't that the real mirror? I said, because I choose this reflection. This is the reflection I choose, therefore it is my reality. So good luck in setting your outcomes. Think big, dream big, because the only thing holding you back is yourself. Choose the reality, the reflection that you want to see. Apply the principles and enjoy the success. Thank you.